All right, let's start with the latest on Tropical Storm Elsa. It's been having a little bit of a weakening trend if you've been following along this morning, partially and due to interaction with Jamaica. Some of the mountains there, more than 7,000 feet tall. It's no surprise that it's passing on the northern side of Jamaica, starting to interrupt the storm a little bit. This is what we like to see, a slightly weaker storm. In fact, the winds when this 11 a.m. advisory came down a little bit from 65 down to 60 miles per hour. And it's a temporary weakening trend, I believe, because there's some warm water that it has to go out ahead of it. And once it pulls away from Jamaica, there is a brief window of opportunity that we could see this storm start to strengthen just a little bit, especially since it's not screaming along at 30 miles per hour like it was yesterday. Its movement has really slowed down as expected overnight, now only at 13 miles per hour. And this is exactly why the Hurricane Center does bring the forecast up to around a 70 mile per hour tropical storm that is very close to hurricane strength before it moves on shore of Cuba early tomorrow morning. So I wouldn't be surprised if this does make it to hurricane strength before it reaches the coast. We'll have to wait and see, but even if it does, I think the forecast is generally the same. Our models come into very good agreement overnight that we're expecting this to pass near or just to the west of the lower Keys Monday night into early Tuesday morning as a 60 mile per hour tropical storm. Now, we will have to wait and see how this fares over Cuba. We do expect it to weaken it a little bit, running into land like that. But overall, I think we have a pretty decent forecast put together with this. First rain bands would arrive not only into the Keys, but into Miami-Dade and Broward as early as tomorrow morning. Some broken rain bands. Tropical storm watch is now in place for the upper Keys. We didn't have that earlier, but it's just in case this tracks a little bit closer to the middle Keys. The center of the storm would put some tropical storm force winds for Isla Morada and Key Largo. Tropical storm warning for Key West, the Marathon to the Dry Tortugas. It's not upgraded to a warning because we're expecting anything different. It's just we're getting closer to the storm. So the forecast remains the same as yesterday, where lower to middle Keys, we're expecting tropical storm force winds at times. Upper Keys from Isla Morada to Key Largo will have some tropical storm force gust within those rain bands. And some of that rain could be heavy, isolated tornadoes, and a water rise on the ocean side of the Keys, no more than 1 to 2 feet. So I'm not too concerned about that. Forecast actually does not look too bad up in Broward and Miami-Dade. We'll get some occasional bands of rain. Some of that could be heavy with some gusty winds. I think the main threat is flooding, because it won't take much to get some flooding. Even around an inch or two of rain could cause some minor flooding in parts of Miami-Dade and Broward. So we'll watch out for that the next couple of days. But I think we're spared the worst from the storm. I really don't expect it to be much. We'll just have to watch the Keys carefully, especially around Key West. But by late Tuesday, I'm talking about even as early as Tuesday afternoon, the outer bands should start to move away from South Florida, and we're improving. It's kind of just our regular weather pattern.